Most silver shortages don't begin with a price spike. They begin quietly when delivery slows, inventory tightens, and nobody's paying attention. Right now, something unusual is happening inside COMEX silver deliveries. And if you only watch the price chart, you're already late. When investors talk about silver, almost all the focus stays locked on price. Did silver go up? Did it go down? Did it break a level? But historically, silver markets don't break at the price first. They break at delivery. And that's exactly why what's happening right now inside COMEX deserves attention. COMEX is supposed to be a place where silver contracts can convert into real, physical metal, not theoretical silver, not paper promises, actual delivery. And when delivery begins to slow, even slightly, it tells us something important about physical supply stress long before headlines catch up. Over the past cycles, every major silver squeeze followed the same pattern. Prices moved sideways. Volatility cooled. Mainstream attention faded. And behind the scenes, delivery timelines stretched, inventory movements slowed, and fewer participants chose to take metal off the exchange. That's not a sign of abundance. That's a sign of caution. What makes this moment different is context. Industrial demand for silver is not weakening. Solar, electronics, medical, defense, all are still pulling silver out of the system. At the same time, mining supply is not expanding fast enough to compensate. So when delivery behavior changes under these conditions, it matters. A slowing delivery process doesn't mean COMEX has run out of silver. That's not how these markets work. Stress appears first as friction, delays, lower willingness to deliver, higher sensitivity to inventory drawdowns, and those signals almost never show up on price charts immediately. This is why experienced participants watch delivery data more closely than spot price during quiet periods. Because price can stay calm while physical availability tightens underneath. And when the market finally notices, the adjustment is rarely smooth. Another important point most investors miss is this: paper silver can trade endlessly without requiring physical movement. But the moment confidence shifts toward physical settlement, the system's flexibility disappears. That's when delivery capacity matters more than volume. Right now, fewer participants are demanding delivery, but the ones who do are more strategic. They're watching availability. They're watching how quickly metal moves. They're watching how inventories respond to even modest pressure. That behavior signals preparation, not panic. This doesn't mean silver prices are about to explode tomorrow. The silent ledger isn't about countdown hype. It's about recognizing early structural changes before they become obvious. And slowing delivery is one of the earliest signals the silver market produces. In past cycles, markets that ignored delivery signals paid attention only after premiums widened, availability tightened, and price gaps formed. By then, optionality was gone. Decisions became reactive instead of strategic. Another misconception is that delivery stress must always be visible or dramatic. In reality, the most dangerous periods are the quiet ones. When everything looks stable, when price behaves normally, when headlines move on, that's when the foundation shifts. If physical silver supply becomes harder to mobilize quickly, even without an official shortage, market behavior changes. Risk management changes. Hedging changes. Inventory becomes more valuable than exposure, and price eventually follows structure. And this is why watching COMEX delivery behavior matters more than watching daily silver price fluctuations. One tells you what already happened, the other hints at what may be forming. So if you're tracking silver right now, don't just ask where price is. Ask how easily physical silver is moving. Ask how inventories respond to demand. Ask what happens when stress increases slightly, not dramatically. Because silver markers don't announce the moment they change. They whisper first. And that's what slowing delivery is. A whisper. When physical delivery begins to slow, it also changes behavior across the entire silver ecosystem. Dealers become more selective. Institutions become more cautious. Inventory is no longer treated as something to rotate quickly, but something to protect. That shift is subtle, but it matters. Because markets function on confidence, and confidence weakens long before systems fail. One reason delivery stress is often ignored is because it doesn't create dramatic headlines. There is no sudden halt, no announcement, no official shortage declaration. Instead, the process becomes less efficient, more rigid, less forgiving. Small delays appear normal until they aren't. Historically, Silver markets have tolerated extreme leverage as long as physical settlement remains optional. But the moment optionality turns into necessity, the math changes. Paper positions can be rolled, physical ounces cannot. And when delivery timelines stretch, it signals that flexibility is shrinking. Another layer most investors overlook is how delivery behavior affects hedging. Producers hedge future output, assuming liquidity and availability. Industrial users hedge, assuming timely access. When delivery slows, those assumptions weaken. Risk management becomes more expensive, and that cost doesn't appear on a price chart immediately, but it accumulates. This is why delivery stress often shows up first in premiums, not spot prices. Availability tightens. Lead times extend. Dealers quietly adjust. And while spot price may look calm, the real market becomes fragmented, one price on screens, another in the real world. COMEX was never designed to supply the entire global silver market. It was designed to facilitate price discovery and settlement under normal conditions. But during periods of stress, its role becomes more symbolic than practical. And when participants realize that behavior changes quickly, what makes the current environment especially sensitive is the lack of excess supply. In previous cycles, slowing delivery could be absorbed by surplus inventory elsewhere. Today, inventories across multiple regions are already lean. That removes the buffer. At the same time, silver demand is increasingly non-industrial. Users don't buy silver because they expect a return. They buy it because processes stop without it. That kind of demand doesn't disappear when prices rise or delivery slows. It adapts, often by securing supply earlier and holding it longer. That creates a feedback loop. Less silver circuits, availability tightens further, delivery slows more, and the system becomes increasingly sensitive to even small shocks. This is why the quiet periods are so important. Loud markets distract. Quiet markets reveal structure. And right now, the structure beneath silver is signaling caution. It's also important to understand that slowing delivery doesn't require malicious intent or manipulation. Often, it's simply rational behavior. When uncertainty rises, participants prefer control over speed. They move less metal, not because it's gone, but because optionality is valuable. But optionality disappears quickly when everyone wants it at once. This is the point most investors miss. By the time delivery stress becomes visible to everyone, the market has already adjusted internally. Liquidity has shifted. Access has changed, and choices become limited. Silver doesn't warn loudly. It signals quietly. Through inventory behavior, through delivery friction, through the way participants position themselves when nobody is watching. So when you see silver prices moving sideways, or volatility cooling, don't assume the system is stable. Ask what's happening beneath the surface. Ask how easily metal is moving. Ask how quickly it could move if demand surged. Because the silver market rarely fails dramatically at first. It tightens, it resists, it slows, and then it reprices. If history is any guide, delivery behavior will matter far more than daily price swings in the months ahead. Not because something is about to collapse tomorrow, but because structure always leads price. And right now, the structure is changing. If you're watching this early, you're not ahead because you predicted a number. You're ahead because you're watching the right signals. That's what the silent ledger is about. If you're paying attention to physical silver instead of just price charts, comment delivery below. And if you want calm signal-based analysis while the market is still quiet, subscribe to the silent ledger.